A warm welcome to everyone for our PCQuest 35 years journey from 1987 to 2022. Today, we will be discussing how students can flourish in the coming online age. For that, we have with us Arjun Mohan, CEO, India, upGrad. Welcome, Arjun.
Thank you, Sunil, and thanks for this opportunity. Congratulations for this 35 years of history. I mean, very few companies today are able to do it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. So, I'll get straight to it. I mean, obviously, the elephant in the room continues to be, COVID and the pandemic era. So can you talk of all the changes that have taken place in the last 2 years? And is it safe to say that hybrid education is here to stay?
Sure. So let me chronicle, right? I mean, what we have been through. So I joined upGrad 2 years ago, bang in the middle of the beginning of the pandemic. So I joined, I mean, the country went into shutdown end of March, and I joined upGrad on April 1st. So, I mean, literally this transition or the way customer moved has been my journey in upGrad too. Right? So what we initially saw was there was a lot of fear and lot of lack of clarity in the market. Most of the people, this is for majority of the companies, this is the first time they are facing something like this. So the employees were not clear what will happen to their jobs, right? And what will be the nature of the jobs in future. So we could initially see people really scrambling to find out what is new in the market. What should I get myself upskilled in? So suddenly in the beginning of it, we saw the traffic go up by 5-6 times. But at the same time, the paid customer base did not go up initially because people were still not clear what will happen in future. So they just did not want to spend money on courses. So the free usage went up. Over a period of time, it became more and more clear to them that this is the way of life and I have to upskill. And that's where we saw the change. One interesting part is that in the beginning, when we saw a huge mushrooming of edtech, where every Tom, Dick, and Harry was saying that I have a product, use it. Over a period of time, it became quite obvious, especially because of the free trials of the product to the consumers, that if I need to do online also, there is some standards and quality which have to be maintained. And hence, only companies like upGrad who had the wherewithal, the platform, the services, the support, so on and so forth, was able to survive. See, the fact of the matter is online learning is just not about showing a video. For an instructor, it's actually harder to take a session online and make the impact felt. It is a system where you really don't know what the kid on the other side, the learner on the other side is really doing. So you have to be really charming on the screen. And there has to be this, what we call as the invisible layer of buddies who will continuously motivate the students to keep in line, right? So a lot of people thought, or edtech companies thought, this is like an easy way to make money, high margin business, but that's not the case with edtech, honestly. If you want to make that quality shown, you have to ensure that both the product and the services were in place. And that is where the second phase of the transition, I will say, where which differentiated the men from the boys, and the bigger edtech companies who had all this started growing faster, not at the pace of the free traffic, but it moved on. Then what happened, especially in K-12, at least, is that kids are, you can't expect kids to be so self-motivated. There are 2% who will be, but not everyone, right? So it is quite obvious by the end of the pandemic, when we come to that, at least in K-12, a pure online learning is not possible. This kid will not study unless there is someone who is there to discipline them, right? At least in higher ed, to a large extent, we are able to manage without it, because finally a working professional who comes to us is someone who already is highly motivated. He knows that he needs it. Otherwise, his sustenance, his job, all these things will get into problem. So not that much with us, but in K-12, things have definitely moved into hybrid, right? Especially in higher ed, what has happened is that, and I'm sure that you are following it. See, last 3 months ago, or I would say even now, right? The first pure online batch from the IIMs sat for placements. This batch literally has never gone to campus, took every class online, took the interviews online. and got selected, placed in companies online. And this batch is the salaries of this batch, both at an average level and the highest level, is historic for the IIMs. So this has been, in my view, the biggest change mover. And as a result of it, today there is high level of acceptance. There is even questions from the working professional side that, yes, I do want to do a master's education, but why should I take a break in my career? I know that it is highly effective. All I need to have is 2 years or 1 year or however you are taking it, a lot of self-control. So that is where the market or the industry is setting today. So in one line, if I want to answer your question, online and hybrid has become to a large extent an accepted proposition and is standing vis-a-vis the offline space today. K-12 have definitely moved into hybrid space. That is why you will see the biggest of the players. I mean, somebody like Byju's have clearly moved from their core business into hybrid situation now. But in higher ed, we don't see that as a big issue. We see that after the COVID opening up happened, for most of our signature courses, our university partners opened up. So we also started a hybrid batch for each of this. So if you want, you can take it online. If you want, you can take it offline. Weekend, you can come to the campus. The live classes sections will be done on campus. You sit in class. We saw good enrollment, but honestly, nobody turns up because these guys are busy, and this flexibility is what they want. So on the social side, building the social side, building a good atmosphere, building that peer group, for that offline is required. So we deliberately bring them offline once or twice to ensure that happens. But higher ed largely still online. And I think it will continue to be online because people have just become more busier. They have very little time today. So that's where it is sitting today.
So anyway, thank you for that overview. That's quite interesting. That's from the edtech and your companies and colleges point of view. So I'd like to maybe expand on, like you said about students, them getting motivation. Students have a problem, but again, if it's hybrid, they'll have to do online. So what are your tips for student to flourish in this new age? And is it more tough on school students rather than college ones? Anything different they can do?
Yeah, so I'll put this into two parts, and I'll answer your second question first. See, it is definitely tougher for the school students, definitely tougher, right? So if you see the younger classrooms, more than the learning you do from the teacher, it is the learning you do from the peers. And it is extremely hard for these kids to sit in front of the laptop. So I don't really think pure online is something any school will be able to do. They will have to continue this offline mechanism. My advice for students who are now getting into this online space, and which is going to be, I mean, honestly, in my view, this is going to be the future of it. Because think about it, right? You look at any higher secondary or college syllabus, like a student who is studying in physics, for physics, math, whatever it is, right? The concepts which we do, right? The derivation which we do, the Pythagoras theorems and the simplifications and all these things we'll do. These are standard concepts which has been around for like decades. You really don't need a teacher to come again and repeat again and again, right? So there are certain things, if presented in the form of a very impressive video done by a real master with the help of 3D animation, makes it clearer and easy to learn for a student at any level. So going forward, any institution will have to do that. Now, if you ask me, I mean, when we did Byju's at the first time, right? The biggest differentiator and why it became even popular for a student who is already highly meritorious was this part. We made the complex surface tension or capillary rise derivations so simple with 3D animation that anyone could see and understand, oh, wow, this is all it is. Right? So this part, let's accept it, will be done better online. So what I would advise the students is that, first of all, you should also get into your syllabus and understand which part can be done easily online and which part you should bring in the social element or the interaction element. Once you are clear on it, I don't think you'll have to spend a lot of time in front of your laptop. It may be half an hour, 1 hour, much less than the time you spend in your gaming to know the concept. then you do your discussion in your classroom with your teachers. That's how you should be doing it. It's not a very common way of doing it in India, but you will have to end up doing it. Otherwise, you'll just get bored.
So actually, what I was saying is that's one thing. And what about college students? Any differences for the college students?
So, Sunil, I mean, like the same thing will apply there also, right? And I'm just now let's dig deep into that college part also, right? So I'm sure that you have seen the new education policy which the government of India is championing. So one of the big things which they are championing is that they're saying that in college now there will be an online mode of learning. We will give out online degrees for non-engineering courses which requires lab. So what they are trying to say is that we know that there are hundreds and thousands of colleges and universities whose quality of education is not good, and you're forced to go there. With online, can we take the best of the universities and make that quality applicable to everyone? That I feel will become a very important part of the future of college education in India. And this is my sense and my belief. I feel that that is going to be a very important part of our future, which makes it necessary for a lot of students to be comfortable learning things online. We may 5 or 10 years down the line, we may see an apprentice driven or a what should I say, internship driven bachelor education in India, at least in certain clusters. I mean, this kind of education is very popular in a developed country like Germany. And for us, which is also a country with a lot of math proficiency in it, this makes a lot of sense. So that is one cluster which I see improving and helping students become more and more employable. And for that piece, see, what is the advantage there? One is that it provides flexibility for the students to do a day job and learn while they are learning. And then in the evening, attending the classes for a few hours, even on their mobile phone. Now, that is a very different way, culturally very different way of doing your college education. A lot of places in India, my son or my daughter went to university is a thing of pride for their parents. Okay, and then you can't really tell your neighbors that, yeah, he's going to university, but he's sitting at home. So it's culturally going to be very different. And that's one adaptability, or that's one acceptance we should have as an economy. But we need it. Without that, I don't think we will be able to achieve our lofty GDP projections, because we are talking now about a country with 29% gross enrollment ratio. Nobody is building universities to take it to 65% in next 10-15 years. So we have to solve it online. So this is where I am seeing the college education go in next 10 years. I think a lot of push from the government side is expediting it. So time will show us what will happen.
So that's very interesting that culturally it has to be part of us. Then it'll help us go forward. So I was just thinking, so we have covered all the bases. Then what innovations can we expect in the years that will make online education easier for everyone? So I'm sure whatever you can share, what are the innovations maybe in the next 5-10 years?
Yeah. So see, fundamentally as an organization, right, upGrad believes, or upGrad was started because we felt Indian education system is not able to create highly skilled graduates at scale because of 3 reasons. Our education system is not accessible to everyone. It's not affordable to everyone. And the quality is not great that it excites everyone who needs to go to a university or go to a college. So that's been the idea behind upGrad. How do I solve for all these 3 things so that the students are excited to go and do their college education, university education, graduation, and so on and so forth. So to do that, what we have done is that first, the access part of it. So we build a platform which can be run in any form factor. Even your basic mobile can become your classroom. So, today the penetration of mobile system and internet in India is so high. We have a system which will work at low speed internet. So literally any part of the country, you can join a university course through upGrad and study. So that was the access we tried to solve. The second and third, affordability, of course, when you take it online, when you make it on scale, the affordability automatically comes in. And we have multiple tiers, depending on which university level, which course level, it varies. The third one, quality has been a continuously, what should I say, building up part. I mean, you can't say that, okay, I build a high quality product and now I can retire. That doesn't happen. The expectation of quality keeps varying. So you have to keep moving on that. So the objective always has been to build an online system where you mimic how a student learn and get outcomes in a high quality university. So we always try to break down how a student learn and becomes skilled in a university. When he gets access to the best of the teachers for who are best in certain topics. So we try to curate that. We try to work with the universities where best of the teachers for that subject comes and teaches. We try to break down the syllabus, saying that this is theory. This can be done asynchronous, because if I do a proper recording with the 3D elements, it becomes easier to understand. While this part requires a teacher with high experience sharing his or her ideas and concepts and experience, and hence has to be given live. So that becomes a second part of it. Third is, finally, the outcome is decided by the industry. So keep in touch with the industry, understand what they are looking at. A lot of these technologies they are looking at, the universities don't have the faculty to teach. So we also rely on a lot of practitioners from the industry, subject matter expert, who provides another layer of learning. The last one is the peer learning. So it's very, very important that you do group projects, you do discussion forums, so on and so forth, and you learn in the process. We also have an element of coaching, mentoring, who are basically mentors from the industry who will come and tell you how you need to structure the entire thing. And of course, we have a career services team which ensures that you are ready for that job interview at the end of it, which you aspire for, and hence you get the outcomes. One invisible layer which goes behind all this is what brings in discipline. See, whatever said and done, these people are all busy. And hence they end up not submitting things in time. They end up not studying consistently, so on and so forth. That is where we provide a service layer called Buddies Up, who comes in, talk to them, and keeps motivating them to go back there. If required, they shide them a bit also, like a parent, like a good friend, saying that you're like investing so much of your time and money, why don't you get serious? So this is what our entire system of quality is, and we try to keep on improving on this to ensure that the student is motivated and get the outcome from this. So this is where we are trying to go continuously and improve on.
Sounds pretty comprehensive. So
Yes.
that's good to know. So I think finally I'd be interested in knowing, like beyond education, it's not just education. So today's fast changing job market is looking more for the latest skills rather than the degrees which have become outdated. So do you think can online education keep up, and could it actually be a boon for professional students and employees looking at an upgrade? Because nowadays you have to keep upskilling, upgrading. It is a lifelong process now.
Absolutely. So Sunil, you're absolutely right, but I don't agree with you. In India, at least for next 15 years, degrees will get outdated. Okay, we have a very ingrained cultural infatuation towards those degrees, and people will do it. It's like I don't think in next 10 years also cars in India will stop being a status symbol. It is gonna be like that, right? But the underlying idea of outcomes which will help you do your job in a highly skilled manner is basically what it is. So I am, whatever industry I am in, I know that if I don't acquire these skills, I will be outdated. Somebody else will take my job. So that's what we are seeing. And hence what we do is, everything we do is finally aligned to outcomes. What are these outcomes? It could be a change into a different domain. It could be a promotion you are looking at. It could be simply that I get the better projects and I get professional confidence. So that is what we build on. And to ensure that we build on that, we keep our course or the syllabus updated to what the industry needs. Of course, we do it alongside a UGC approved institution, and hence the courseware is built by them. But we provide that extra layer where we discuss with these faculties and ensure that the latest is provided to the students. I mean, I am sure that the time is not far where the developers will stop developing. They will just go to GitHub and call out the function the NLP system has to build for them. So these are not far away things. And so hence people today have to be at least updated to understand what is happening around them. For instance, nowadays we see a lot of people from non-tech background coming to us to learn data science, because data science is something which is used everywhere today. If you're in FMCG, you need data science to understand your consumer better and design those products. If you're in financial industry, if you don't understand cybersecurity and data science, it's a problem today. I mean, we have a lot of banking professionals who are studying with us. So that's where I see it going, and that's how we have been trying to keep ourselves updated.
Thank you for that discussion. It's quite interesting because, like last 2 years, technological acceleration has taken place, but I think Indian education, it's been the most, because that was the most unchanging thing. So I look forward to what you'll be doing in the next few years also. I'm sure we'll undergo many changes.
Absolutely, Sunil. Change is the only thing constant in our life.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks so much.